Hi everyone. Now we are going to continue for part 3, and today I'm going to open my project again, the same project we have been working on, and this is okay. So last time we created a delegate so we can invoke the subroutine or the procedure so we can modify the form controls. So I'm going to remove the form controls, and so this is this part as well here. So now let's have a group box here, couple of group box, one to read, one to write, and I'm sorry, where is the group box? Okay, here group box. I'm going to dock it on the top, just so. Okay, I'm just gonna copy it, paste it again, and paste it again. So we have a 3 group box. We're gonna perform 3 distinct operations, and I'm just going to pad it a little bit and change the font so you can easily see it, make it more visible. Okay, now we can clearly see it. So this is a right tag. So we are going to perform 3 distinct operations, if all possible today. If not, maybe at least one of it. Okay, so this is going to be very simple. So is this, and so is this. Okay, so first of all, let me add a label up here, and this is gonna be serial port. Okay, and I'm just going to copy this and paste this one. Okay, so this is okay, this is good. I'm just going to copy this set, paste it again here, and paste it again. So this is going to be our LBL serial port. Here you want to write down the same port number, and this is just for information purpose only, and you do not have to do it, and this is just for the demonstration only. And this is, I'm going to say, for RF board, and this is again blank text, and I'm just going to say LBL RF board here. Okay, and this is going to be firmware. Okay, this is firmware, and I'm going to say LBL firmware, just some empty text. Okay, let me research the form. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, now when we connect the reader for the first time, we are receiving, we are sending the get firmware version. So now let's process it. So here, when you receive the command, each command, let's put a breakpoint and let me explain you a little bit about it. So let's run it here. Okay, now we have connected to reader, and here's our response, and each command comes back with the response corresponding to the command it was sent. So in this case, let me zoom in here, it's a get firmware version command. So if you issue the readTech command, it will also have the enumerator for readTech command, and for each command, or at least I should say for the most of the command has specific response, and for some of the commands where you do not need a response, such as write tag, it's going to say oh yes or no, then there will be a null response. But if you have a read tag response, or when you try to read the tag, it will have the tag value stored up here. So you can see, you know it shows up the country, major version, reader board, and version of the string. And let's say, and you can also see there is a response code. So what does this mean? First of all, you want to check this. What does this mean? This means the reader received the command properly and it executed properly. And it doesn't mean, let's say if you issue the read tag command, it will still send you message okay if it doesn't find a tag. What it did, it was able to execute the command properly. That's all it means. And if it finds tag, then you want to look up here in command specific response. For all the other operations where there is no response or there is no return value, such as write tag, it is yes or no, then if you do not receive the message okay, it means it did not write the tag value. So for all the commands, you have some values coming back, you want to look up for the specific response. For all the commands, there is no value coming back other than just a response, you want to look up for the message okay. But for all the commands, message okay is a must to proceed further. So we will build our application based upon this response first of all. So I'm going to zoom out here. I'm just going to let the application run, and here, okay, just close this one. So if response dot response message or response code is equal to, there are lots of response, sometimes it wasn't able to find a tag, it loses the tag, so there are abbreviated enumeration or enum here, but what you want to look for is msgok, and you will never encounter any of any of the responses back here. In 99% of the time, I have only encountered like 2 or 3 of them so far, even after using it for last 6 or 7 years. But it's there, just for your knowledge. Okay, so if it is okay, then only you want to process the response, or handle your error gracefully. So let's say when will you get other than message okay? Sometimes when you do not supply the full command, or when you have an improper command structure, then it might say okay, this was not properly formatted command. But if you are using the library, then it won't be the case. If you're using the DLLs that NSYNC technologies provide, then this won't be the case, so you will not encounter any of the other errors. So this means command was executed successfully. Okay, so now for each command you want to have a separate response. So I'm just gonna say command echo is equal to dot get firmware version. Oh, sorry, this, my bad. And here case okay, so when we receive the get firmware version command, it will come up here. So now we will handle it here. So let's say response dot, and you can like if you're interested checking up all other things, session ID and response bytes and reader number, most of them are static, but the CRC value is changeable, and the command specific response is changed all the time. So let's say we're going to say nsig dot reader dot e-reader dot get firmware firmware response here. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to say response is equal to. Okay, now this will not work because this one has a type casting of command specific response and this one is a firmware response, so we have to cast it, and you can do it by simply let me just remove, this is already included in the namespace, so we can simply do in the C# you can do it like this. Just have to typecast it, and now you can access everything. You see, like country code, major version, minor version, reader board, and the version as a full string. So lbl firmware dot text is equal to response dot version. I'm just going to say lbl hardport dot text is equal to response dot reader board here, and lbl serial port dot text is equal to mreader dot serial port number dot string. Okay, I mean you can set serial port anytime, but so this should do the job, and let's do it. Let's run the code, save it, let's run it. No, okay, so reader board, this is enumeration, so let me see what it is. I think it's I'm sorry, okay, yeah, just gonna say dot to string, so this will do the job. Let's run it. Okay, it's running successfully. So as you can see, we found our serial port 4 and the board is RF2400 and the firmware version is 0.39. So this is great, we are able to do our firmware version properly. Okay, so let me just here add com just for fun. Now let's try to read the tag, and we will use the same fundamentals we used for the get firmware version, and we're gonna process it here. So here we are going to call it read tag, and I'm just going to say button read, and here you can say mreader dot read tag, simple as that. Okay, and here this is where we're gonna process all our responses. So in the case of e-reader dot read tag, so we issued the read tag command, now we want to handle it. Okay, okay, so when we before we do anything, we should check for the response, and if it is not null, then only we want to use it to process the response. So let's say if e-response dot command specific response is not equal to null, and this is the reason because when you don't have a tag value or didn't find tag value, this will be null, so you do not want to get into the error. And okay, I think I have to stop my video here, and I will show you in the next video how to process it, because I think I'm running out of time, and I'll continue this one in the next video.